All right, so welcome. So we're going to try something new here. We're going to do what we're calling a 5 for 10 knowledge nuggets is what we're going for here. So, we're going to take 10 minutes and we're going to ping our guest, Adam Malofsky with Nanocatalytics. We're going to ping him with 5 questions and he's going to impart his wisdom and knowledge and what he's been working on, over the past, I don't know. He's been doing this for 25, 30 years is what it sounds like. So just a tremendous wealth of knowledge. And so I wanted to bring in Adam, and he's going to be our first guest for this session. And we're going to share these sessions and hopefully provide the rest of our business center clients and honestly the greater Cincinnati community and beyond with this knowledge, and hopefully help other businesses, other startups in their journey. So again, I'm Anthony Seppi. I'm the director here at the Business Center, and I'm going to just introduce Adam and just kind of bring him in and let him talk about what he's working on and with Nanocatalytics and what makes him tick. That's the first item that I'm going to throw at him.
First question, what makes me tick? I like helping people.
Yep.
I like transforming their lives. That's where I like spending my time. I like doing that with my colleagues. My wife always reminds me that I'm a moron and an idiot when I walk through the door at the end of the day, and she's probably right. But what I'm really saying is most of the success I've had has been because of the people I've been blessed to be surrounded by. So my job is to also, in a way, help transform their lives as they help transform mine. After that, I like being creative. Whether it's gardening, cooking, carpentry, startups, my children as startups, on and on. That's what makes me tick, is having fun being creative.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that, having fun, being creative, that's, kind of, that mantra or living up to those kind of values. I think that's tremendous. And you mentioned team there as well. So that's huge. Thanks for that. So you've got a project, company that you're working on right now, Nanocatalytics. So just tell us a little bit about the story of how Nanocatalytics came to be. You've kind of been in this space for a while, so yeah. Just I'll leave it there, and let's hear it.
Yeah, so I'm in manufacturing. In manufacturing, most people want to either do things faster. All right, they want to do them with less energy, thus less cost and more capabilities or options to make a thing, whether it's a shirt or a car or a building or whatever it might be. And so over the last 30 years, my life's been around kind of looking for ways that can be done. It took me a while to really figure out that that's what was going on. Nanocatalytics is another startup that really eliminates energy from manufacturing. So in our particular case, it doesn't have to be hot. We can make things much, 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 much faster. And that's, whether that's making building components or making clothing or whatever, that's where our space is. And more specifically, we're making laminates. So we have people like Ralph Lauren, W.L. Gore, laminating companies out there who have actually invested in our company, where we can reduce their footprint by up to 90% physical footprint. If you're a company that's landlocked, obviously that's a really big deal. So we have one company, Lamart, out in New Jersey, and they're physically locked. They can't increase their capabilities without going abroad. We suddenly transform that they could be in the same place 50 years. If you think about green and clean, another way of looking at nanocatalytics is we eliminate solvents from manufacturing. All right. You can look at clean and green as we do eliminate footprint. We can do things faster, but even more so, we enable the use of ingredients that normally couldn't withstand heat. And those tend to be the greener ingredients. So whether that's different types of materials for making fibers, natural dyes, all of them tend to get destroyed when they see heat. So suddenly there's this huge wealth of new materials that can be used with our technology. So it's like what I call a platform technology. You asked how we came to be. We've been doing this a long time. What we always do is put these ideas and the basics for the chemistry, in this case, in front of our customers and see if they'll actually invest in the company. If your customers won't give you the time of day in a very tangible way, which is money going into our bank account, all right, to get the company off the ground, then you probably don't have something. And I know that's kind of cruel and harsh, but that's the bottom line that we've learned. Will a customer actually invest in your startup? For a consumer product, that might be a purchase. But for B2B, it's will they invest in your company?
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that approach. I mean, all too often we get individuals, founders, teams coming in here that just, that they're just, they hit the ground running, looking for venture, and looking for funding, institutional funding, and what you just said there is powerful. I mean, get customers, get companies that will buy into your product or solution. So that's yeah.
And what's
I mean,
great
that's
about that is
very
when you get,
powerful.
when you get that, Anthony, we
Yeah.
then go to our investors and we use safe agreements.
Yeah.
And what we're able to do is they really don't have an argument about why we're not viable.
Mhm.
Someone else already put in money. They put it in
Yeah.
under the terms that we want. And we've already shown them the basic technology exists, the supply chain exists. And so that enabled us to get money from private individuals, more often than not, folks who have had experience either with us personally or with the industries in which we're actually acting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I love the fact that you guys are actually like making stuff and building stuff. It's physical, physical production of a product or solution.
What we like to do is we work with products, physical products, generally over 30 years, how they're made, what they're made out of, and what they enable. And what they enable, for example, like I said, not being landlocked or using other materials is probably the most critical aspect of anything new, is enabling lots of other people to transform their lives, if you will, the way they do things. I always like to say, if you have your startup, can you tell someone in only a sentence or two how you transform time for your customer? If I make something faster, that's kind of easy. If I give them better quality time by not paying all those property taxes on the facility that you don't need anymore, all right, that's better quality time, right? How can you say you impact time, and not just versus what you were doing, but versus any other alternative for improving the quality of time or the amount of time? So most people think they're competing against the incumbent for their product. They forget that their investors and even the companies they sell to may have 20 other ways to do better. You're competing against everything. You're not just competing. If it's an angel investor, they could be, am I going to go buy another boat, another mansion, another piece of jewelry, or should I invest in this thing? And if I invest in this thing, if I'm say with Queen City Angels or another angel group, they see companies across all kinds of different spaces. Why are you the best out of all of them? I like to say in the top 3 of mind of the decision makers who you're trying to influence.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. And just, like you said, the physical products, the manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, and just the payback to the community and the region is much more so than a software, software play. I mean, you're hiring people.
Jobs.
Yeah,
right,
I mean, you're bringing
factory, right?
Yeah,
right.
bringing in
People
physical jobs. Up. Yep. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I love that. I mean, I'm not saying software plays aren't, nothing against software plays, but I mean, the back to community from startups that are actually building things, manufacturing things, it's just so much more, tenfold. So that I fully appreciate that coming from the economic development background. So that's awesome. So you talked a little bit about your past and your history. Nanocatalytics isn't your first rodeo. And you talked about a couple things, in terms of knowledge or what you would like to impart to other founders. Looking back, are there some examples of things you would have done differently or, taken a different approach on some things?
Yeah, I think there are a few different things. I think first, the one thing is go get customers and others to invest in your venture before you go after capital. I know venture capital looks all exciting and it's what's talked about on TV and everything else. I just don't think that's where people should be starting. I think you should also, another thing is make a decision. What do you really want out of this? For me, all right, I have a 3 different cancer surviving wife. My objective is to accumulate enough money to spend as much time with her as possible. Notice I said nothing about $1 billion exit or achieving this much sales. When you're a founder, you have to decide, are you going to try to go the big path and go venture capital and end up with the same money that you would have if instead you stayed smaller and, helped your direct community and maybe didn't make life so complex? I'd say another one was it took me, I shouldn't say it took me a while, but I just didn't realize how to do it. Your job as a founder is to transform the lives of all the people around you. It's not just your customer, but it's the people working for you. 100% of nothing is nothing. And so sharing significant amounts of equity, doing it carefully with the key staff, with the key people within your company, giving them a chance to be successful, to be prosperous in the way they see prosperity. There are a lot of people who are younger today who see prosperity as time off. I'm oversimplifying. There are other people who are maybe older who want to secure their retirement. There are other people who maybe have the big wedding coming along. Somewhere in a Peter Senge-esque way, you need to see how the common objectives of the company, the things they're doing, the things you want to get done, somehow are going to enable everyone else in the company to benefit from this. Even at your customers, and this will be my last point here, you don't sell to companies. You never sell to companies. You sell to people. There's someone sitting at a desk or going to lunch with you, and they're going to decide if this helps them get a promotion, keep their job, all right, transform their success. You can be guaranteed if you keep saying, and I'll just pick P&G as a foil, we're going to make P&G great, and the guy across from you is named, say, Anthony, and Anthony doesn't hear the name Anthony once about how you're going to make him successful, then you can bet that Anthony probably is far less interested than if you said, and here's how we're going to architect your success at your company with this opportunity that we have. You can be guaranteed if you make the people successful at your customer, the people, then you will make the company successful.
Yeah.
I think that I had to learn over time.
Yeah. Yep. No, I love that. It just the fact, I mean, it's that making that individual that's sitting across the desk, making them the hero. I love that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. It's making them the.
Yeah, Loctite, where I came from originally, where my father worked, they called them Loctite Charlies, and it came from a guy named Charlie. Around 1973, 74, calls up his salesman, just changed jobs. And what Charlie says is, I got this new job. I need you to give me 3 successes so I can get my next promotion or my next job. Loctite sold glue. That guy never mentioned glue. He saw Loctite as the architect of his success. He saw the salesman he worked with as the architect of his success. How are you an architect of your customer, the actual person's success? If you can't answer that, you're probably not going to get the sale.
Yeah. Yep. No, I love it. I love it. So, all right. So we got a few more minutes here. So, superpower that you feel especially adept at. Is it the fundraise? Is it building the team? Is it growth, scaling?
I think fundraising. I think fundraising is a foil for. I have a passion, a holistic passion for the things that we're doing that I'm able to make infectious. Okay. So like I said, lots of people can point out, my wife can tell you all the things I'm very bad at. And apparently that's a lot of things. All right. But with regard to fundraising, the fastest fundraise I ever did was $7 million in 90 seconds. I never got past the first slide. And we were able to say in only a couple of sentences where we were, this is the middle of a company's life, where we were, what we were doing next, and what that success was that should justify putting in the money. I actually had companies like General Motors fighting with Mitsui across the table. No, I'm putting in a few million more. No, I'm putting in money. I laid back in my chair and I said, well, this is never going to happen again. Okay. And it was because the story, making individuals a success, that's what got us to where we were. So that's other than that, my only other superpower is gardening.
Okay.
I'm really good.
And maybe that's, that was going to be maybe that's the answer to the next question. Like, so if you weren't working on nanocatalytics or any of the past ventures that you've been working on your past 30 years, what would you be doing?
I'd be gardening and cooking. So I went to culinary school and I got my PhD. I like to create. So I'd be basically building things, making things, whether it's a garden, a bunch of cookies, a good roast, whatever it is. I'd be creating things. I just wouldn't be doing it with the stress of satisfying investors, only satisfying my wife, who says I grow way too many things.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And thank you for that. And thank you for your story, and thanks for your knowledge. And your willingness to impart your knowledge onto others. We appreciate that. And, that's what we're here at the, that's what we're all about here at the Business
No,
Center.
I
Just,
love HCDC. This has
Yeah.
been, I have not had a better group of people to help support our company ever in my 30 years. So,
Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that. And yeah, thanks, Adam Milofsky with Nanocatalytics. And yeah, we'll go ahead and close it out. And thanks, Adam. Take it
all
easy.
right, be well.
All right, bye.